Hello, welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Dan Betts, the CEO at Hummingbird Resources. How are you today, Dan?
Hey Zach, thanks for having me again.
Right, we spoke some weeks ago, and maybe people get a bit homesick for information about Hummingbird Resources. Maybe you can tell us what's going on, or whatever you can tell us, given the rules and regs these days.
Well, to be honest, not much different to our quarterly update, Zach, other than we are, progressing rapidly at Carusa in terms of mobilization of the mining fleet and getting the volumes moved. I think to be a bit more specific, I think, as I said in the quarterlies, delays in the ramp up to moving the volumes is the sort of sticking point in getting to full scale production, and contracted rates are about 25 to 27,000 BCMs a day. And we now have those sort of volumes being moved on a daily basis. And we've got all the fleet at site. There's actually a fourth fleet that should be in operation within the next week as well. So, things are rapidly improving and getting the volumes moved, which, that's the biggest obstacle to getting access to the higher grade ore and getting gold produced through the plant.
Well, you're talking about ramp up. There's a thing. A lot of companies, 9 out of 10 probably on the market in the small cap area, would love to be having a ramp up in their dialogue. Is there just holes in the ground, or they're just ideas about holes in the ground? Do you think that you've explained, how let's say original you are in terms of the London small cap scene? That you're actually producing your multi-asset, multi-jurisdiction, etc. And you seem to be treated as if you were just an idea on a map.
I can't really answer that, Zach, in what people think of Hummingbird as what we are. But I mean, the point is we are now a multi-asset, multi-mine producing company that next year, we're finalising the budget and guidance, but we're going to be a 200,000 ounce producer across 2 mines in 2 countries with a world-class third development project in Liberia that we have the opportunity to take forward. So I think the value to unlock is amazing in Hummingbird. And that said, I understand, the market is difficult and it's a bit of a show me story. And are you going to ramp up and are you going to deliver the goods? So that's the opportunity for people, isn't it? You either believe we will and take the risk, or you believe we won't and maybe things move away from you. Who knows?
And in terms of ramp up or no ramp up, is there any clock ticking in your mind in terms of where Hummingbird should be and when? Is that really, is there a sort of time frame? Does it really matter? I mean, is it sort of when the gold is produced, when it's produced? Is there something which you're concerned about apart from the traditional impatience of investors?
No, it matters. I mean, ultimately our cash flow is everything, and we need to get the gold produced to pay down our debt and, meet our financial obligations. So, at the end of a mine build, you're at maximum stress. You've spent all the money. You've got thousands of people working at site. You're spending money. So you need to get the gold produced, and that's where we're at. So there's intense pressure at site. We've brought in reinforcements across the mining team to really work with Corica, our contract miners, and make sure, on a daily basis, we are hand in glove all over this, because you've got to get the volumes moved. So to answer your question, yeah, it's essential. And it is a timing thing. We said that by the end of this year, we would be at full run rate, which, touch wood, it looks like we will be. And the objective for next year is to aggressively pay down our balance sheet and strengthen the ability of the company to grow. Look at exploration, other stuff as well, but it's paying down that balance sheet is our focus, and that depends on cash flow.
And do you think the balance sheet issue is the one of the moment? I mean, for many companies, we've seen these sort of, I call them project companies, where they have this flagship project and they're trying to get funding and they're trying to get going, and it's a DFS and PFS and all the other stuff like that. You're above the clouds and all that, but you seem to be treated as if you were, again, 1 or 2 of them have stumbled over the course of the autumn because there is a liquidity crunch. Is it all about your balance sheet as well and getting that back to a sort of no debt situation as quickly as possible?
Look, I definitely think The thing about the market is it's always looking for the next problem, and that's logical, right? You're looking for risks and to manage risks. So our risk is not that our feasibility study will not be positive or that we can't finance the project, or as you say, we've done all those things. The risk for us is that there's problems with the ramp up. Well, as I said at the quarterlies, the plant is basically working at nameplate capacity, and the ramp up, the construction has been good. So it's all just about proving the cash flow and paying down the balance sheet. That's really the risk, or the risk in the eyes of the market, and that's what everyone's working towards mitigating.
So ironically, it's the production or the balance sheet is as important as the production, though, so they go hand in hand.
Absolutely, they go hand in hand. And I'd stress the point, Zach, that we work very closely with our major lender, Chorus Bank, and senior shareholders, and they remain committed and supportive to building Hummingbird into a mid-tier multi-asset gold producer, and can see the opportunities.
In terms of the sort of portfolio, what is your primary focus? What's your day-to-day where do you spend most time?
Well, at the moment, most of my time is on the ramp up of Carusa and managing the team, making sure we've got the right people in the right places and we get the team humming, pardon the pun. Yeah. But obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on in Hummingbird as well. I mean, there's the underground developments at Yanfolila, there's Yanfolila operations, and then there's the consolidation of the Duby asset in Pasofino, which we're working through as well. So all of those things are, that's what I do in the day.
Right, and probably the question, which is maybe the $64,000 question, is your shares are now again approaching where they were, let's say, early this year, and you've obviously been working like a dervish in that time. For people who are not in the stock and maybe are sort of thinking about a gold play which has growth prospects and that kind of thing, what would you say to them are the sort of the USPs of Hummingbird?
Well, it's immediate. It's immediate leverage into the gold price. If next year, as I say, we're targeting 200,000 ounces and paying down circa $70 million on our balance sheet, that should really translate into equity value. It should. That's, in an ideological world, that's how it would work. You transfer the debt to equity value, and obviously, if we can couple that with exploration success and showing extending a mine life at Carusa, it's super tangible. It's not selling a dream. It's real. It's existing. It's producing. It's there. So it's just delivering on that.
And you've got some decent investors on the shareholder register at the moment. So that's sort of maybe one thing that people who are new to the party might be looking at. But is it also the case that in fact all the heavy lifting has been done? I mean, the major part of the risk and the risk events, etc., have been done, and so from now on, it's really say a sort of home run. But it's effectively a home run in terms of paying down the debt. But you're in that sort of a home stretch type of point in your cycle?
I don't really know how to answer that, Zach, because like every stage of a business is complicated and it's got its own challenges. And as you move out of one phase, you're into the next phase. And building an operating company that I guess we've been doing in Hummingbird for the last 5 years, the regular, consistent, stable management of each of the different departments, whether it's geology or mining or plant or maintenance or HR, it's very, very different to building a project, which is quite in and out. You've got a lot of consultants and it's just done. I mean, Hummingbird now has nearly 2,000 employees or contractors responsible for delivering in different teams in a way that's systemized and process driven. And that is a big challenge in itself. So you get through one challenge and you get to the next. But we've always said our aim is to build a diversified gold mining company, because that diversification reduces your risk and you can build better systems and build robustness into the business. And I think we're pretty close. I think we've come a long way from the early days where it's sort of one Land Rover exploring in the jungle. I mean, it's a totally different animal with, to me, like infinitely more value in that platform and the robustness. Well, and a company that will have revenues of north of $400 million next year. So, you know, it's quite weird when you look at the market and it's basically the same market cap. It's like, Jesus, like what's going on? But that you can only control the things you can control, and we are focused on building a robust business, and I think we're pretty close.
Dan Betts, CEO at Hummingbird Resources, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Zach.